Hey, my wonderful, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to you. So, beautiful people, I'm actually listening on a live that I normally follow on the weekends, on Friday and on Saturday. Very good live, very informative, very emotionally intelligent, filled with very wise information. And the individual, the host, mentioned a word or mentioned a term, a hypothesis that I said I had to kind of pause from the live a moment and talk about it because it is something that is disturbing, it is something that is destructive, and it is something that is debilitating. And it is, my apologies, it is, I want you to understand why rejection is so debilitating emotionally and psychologically, even mentally. There is just something very devastating and decadent about rejection, and I needed to do a little research. Yeah, I needed to do a little research on why it is so debilitating and destructive. And it said that rejection is so psychologically debilitating because it threatens some of our most fundamental human needs. So it is like when they talk about cancer attacking important organs and making you almost not just lifeless, but you can't do anything. It takes away the sting from your humanness. Similarly, rejection probably can almost be likened unto that horrid and terrible, hideous disease. So it is, it's debilitating because it threatens some of our most fundamental human needs, such as belonging. Doesn't matter who the individual is or who the people are. Every single solitary, as they would say, human being wants to belong. He or she wants that sense of belonging, that I matter to God and I matter in this universe. Self-worth, it threatens the belonging, it threatens the self-worth and social connection. Man was not made to be alone. This is not only as it relates to marriage. This is social interconnection with each other. It is not just marital or marriage related. We are made for each other, believe it or not. And that is why the commandment was summed up in one, that you love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind, with all of your strength, and not maybe. And the conjunction word says to love your neighbor as yourself. And I'm going to tell you some few psychological key reasons why rejection affects us so deeply. One, evolutionary roots. Humans evolved as social beings, and being part of a group was crucial for survival. We need each other. Rejection may trigger an instinctive fear response because in early human history, social exclusion could mean life or death, which is true. Two, pain process in the brain. Studies using fMRI scans have shown that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain, such as the anterior cingulate cortex. This means rejection isn't just an emotional experience. It's not just emotion. It can feel physically painful. Have you ever heard people, the rejection of somebody so debilitating psychologically and emotionally that physically they're feeling the pain, and sometimes they're having heart palpitations, anxiety attacks, and other horrendous ailments or diseases, or something that is just like a dis-ease. It threatens or threat to self-worth. Rejection can challenge our sense of self, making us question whether we are good enough. You ever heard a lot of people saying, am I really good enough? It can lead to feelings of inadequacy, and that's not a good feeling to have. It can be depressing, It can lead to feelings of inadequacy, shame, and even self-doubt. Fear of future rejection, because it is in the subliminal part of the mind, you feel that if you're rejected now, you're going to be rejected later. It's like it doesn't leave you, it hugs you. Once we experience rejection, we may become more sensitive to it in the future, leading to avoidance behaviors, social anxiety, or withdrawal from relationships and opportunities. So it's either you're fearful of being yourself because you don't want to be rejected, or you pull back because you're afraid that rejection is going to put you back into a place that you had never, you could not handle. Rumination and self-blame. People often replay experiences of rejection in their minds. When you're rejected, it's like it plagues you, trying to figure out what went wrong. This can lead to cycles of negative thinking, definitely does, and trust issues, self-criticism, and even depression. Loss of control. Being rejected, especially in situations where we have little control, example, job applications, dating, friendships, if you're just a line staff, can make us feel powerless, which can increase stress and anxiety. And I'm telling you, those two friends are they're like the demolition man to one's body, or the demolition men to one's body. However, the good news is that that resilience to rejection can be built over time. Strengthening self-esteem, practicing self-compassion, and maintaining a strong support system can help to lessen the impact of rejection. And, I'll suggest some coping, mechanisms that, to deal and to combat rejection or to mitigate it, emotionally and practically. One, reframe the narrative. Instead of seeing rejection as a reflection of your worth, try viewing it as a learning experience. And why, win some, we lose some, but it's not so much about me. Not to say that you or I should not improve in our behaviors. That's not what I'm saying. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? That's a very fundamental question to ask. Could this be redirection towards something better? Oftentimes, rejection is God's protection, as they say. Was this really a good fit for me in the first place? So you reframe it, and sometimes you have to do some self-introspection, because the problem could have been you, but it is also a move for you to grow. So it takes you back to a place of humility and a sort of a sedentary mindset, so that you can look at yourself and deal with the uglies, the cockroaches, the scorpions that are within that need to be dealt with. Separate the event from your identity. So because you are rejected doesn't mean it's because something is wrong with you. You're faulty more than anybody else. Being rejected doesn't mean you are inadequate. It just means the situation, job, relationship, or opportunity wasn't the right fit. Or sometimes not now. You probably weren't ripe for it. Avoid overgeneralizing by saying things like, I hate it to see people, I always get rejected. That's not true, because there are times you're not rejected. Or I'm not good enough, I've never been good enough. Instead, recognize that rejection is a part of life, and trust me, no matter how beautiful or wealthy or filled with clothes someone is, everyone has been rejected at some point. Practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself the way you would comfort a friend. Strengthen your sense of self-worth. The stronger your self-esteem, the less the rejection will shake you. Normalize and desensitize yourself to rejection. The more you expose yourself to situations where rejection is possible, the less intimidating it becomes. Some people even try it as rejection therapy, Lean on your support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Talk about your feelings with trusted friends. Engage in activities that bring you joy, good things that bring you joy, and move forward with purpose. So you set new goals and take action, whatever it is, for self-improvement and keeping the momentum going. So these are ways that you can combat rejection in a healthy way. Guys, You know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. No, me need one of them lander now. Please.